Welcome, American Horror Story fans. I'm Leontine, here to give you an exciting breakdown and shakedown of Season 8, Episode 7. This is my first YouTube video, so please give a girl a break and please be kind. Alright, let's jump in. Now, this episode is purely backstory and filler. However, we did get some additional information into our favorite characters. Okay, let's jump in. The episode takes off with a film starring Bubbles McGee, aka Evie, A Christmas to Dismember. This flashback is a nod to the role Joan Collins played in the 1972 Tales from the Crypt, all through the house. Go ahead and check it out. Once Bubbles is off screen, she meets up with Madison. After some chatty banter between the two movie stars, which I love by the way, they are the only witches to be actors. Madison tells Bubbles it's all hands on deck with the dire situation that they're dealing with Michael. So go ahead and get your broomstick. Next, Madison, Bubbles, and Myrtle meet to discuss the end of the world and the issues with the warlocks. Bubbles has the power to read the soul and can gain the truth if she can meet Ariel. They're trying to go ahead and get Bubbles on board, but she's really kind of skeptical as to what's going on. Myrtle also makes a curious comment about knowing the true age of Bubbles. And I wonder if this will come up later. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But all in all, they do end up convincing Bubbles to go ahead and go to the academy, do a little mind reading, and to find out what's the lowdown. In this episode, we find out more about Diana's character. Turns out she's the voodoo priestess, and she has risen to the queen status of voodoo after the fall of Marie Laveau. She's all about that paper, y'all, offering her services to the rich and anyone who can pay for anything that they need. Cordelia finds Diana and asks her to set up a meeting with Papa. But it ain't gonna be free, babe. She says it's gonna be $100,000 in cash. Damn! To set up a meeting with Papa. Papa shows up already knowing the skinny on Michael. That he's the Antichrist, the end of days are coming, and that Cordelia wants to set up a coup to entrap Michael in the underworld so he can't cause any chaos here in our world. I'm really surprised Papa even entertained this idea or even showed up to this meeting, considering who his boss is. I'm pretty sure he would not be successful in his coup. However, having said that, he was absolutely willing to make an agreement with Cordelia. He just wanted not one soul, but all the souls of her witches in exchange for helping her pull off this coup against Michael. I was practically screaming at the TV, no, please Cordelia, do not be the traitor. I was so worried that she was going to be what this title episode was about. Luckily, that didn't happen. We also find out that Nan's been chilling with Papa, causing all kinds of mischief. I'm a little sad to find out that she's so evil now. I mean, maybe hanging out in the underworld does that to a person, but she seems to be having fun, and Papa loves her. That's probably why he wants more witches like her. I'm wondering if she has some type of power down there. But if you remember back when Madison was down there, she didn't have any power in the underworld, so I'm not really sure what the relationship between Papa and Nan, if him having control or ownership, per se, of her soul, perhaps she still keeps her witchy powers. So maybe we'll find out more about that, but it was good to see Nan because we were all wondering if she got forgotten about. But at least I'm glad Nan's not being tortured. And Papa really likes her, so maybe it's a win. Back at the academy for exceptionally young ladies, Coco is showing off her new calorie counting powers. I can't wait to see where the show is going to go with this. I think it's something that's going to be really small that's going to end up being something really big. So I can't wait for that reveal. But as she's showing off her skills, bam! Coco suddenly starts choking out on a pastry. Boom, hits the ground. Luckily, our girl Mallory is on the scene to save the day. Mallory magically cuts open Coco's throat to remove the obstruction and saves her life. Everyone in the room is in shock, and Zoe says she's never seen any magic like this or a spell that could even do that. This further makes me suspect Mallory is more than a rising supreme. An angel? A Nephilim? Both? I can't wait to find out where they're going to go with this. Back at the Boys' Academy, Bubbles and Myrtle are successful in finding out that Ariel has planned the murder and execution of John Henry, and that they want to not just murder John Henry, they want to murder all witches. Ariel also mentions Michael's in the wilderness. Is he meditating? Is he praying to Daddy? What is he doing in the wilderness? This is going to be really interesting, and I'm wondering what kind of take this is going to play out, considering there's a lot of things that are flipped with the whole Antichrist theme. So we'll see where they go with that whole garden scene. Cordelia decides to bring the witches together one more time to celebrate before they have the 7 wonders performed by our beloved Mallory, and to discuss striking the first blow to the warlocks and Michael. Cordelia reveals why she brought Myrtle back to life during this dinner. You can tell during the flashback that the spell took a heavy toll on our Supreme. It was very hard for her to bring her back to life, but she did, and it was very painful for her. She told Myrtle a heavy darkness is coming, and she doesn't know how to protect her girls, and she needs her guidance. But I'm really starting to become very impressed with Cordelia. It seems the more this episode goes along, this season moves along, she's getting an end game going. She's got a plan. She's moving her chess pieces in the right position to try to defeat Michael. So it's going to be really interesting how this all pulls together, and hopefully the end is not nigh. However, Apocalypse did happen, so I'm not sure if part of her plan didn't work or if it was inevitable that had to happen in order to get to where we are now. I guess we'll have to wait and see. For Mallory's final test, she'll be required to bring John Henry back to life, using only a pile of ashes. A tall order indeed. And damn, Mallory didn't even break a sweat performing this task. If you look at the flashback of Cordelia bringing back Myrtle, it was pretty hard for Cordelia. Mallory is something much more. I'm telling you guys, wait and see. We're going to be blown away. The first thing that John Henry tells Cordelia once he's gathered his bearings from being brought back to life is that he's gained knowledge from the other side, and it's a matter of life and death. Also, he mentions he didn't see any warlocks there at the gas station. He only saw a woman. And Cordelia asked him, who is this woman? And he wasn't quite sure. It's never explained how the Coven found out who she is, but hopefully we'll find out more soon. Coco is put on the mission of taking out the mysterious Miss Mead. And on the one-liner of the week goes to Coco when she confronts Miss Mead saying, "I hope you like it hot, bitch." I about jumped out of my chair. Yes, Coco is lit. I'm loving her growing courage and commitment to the Coven. Even though she has a funny power, I still think something great's going to come out of this power, and we just haven't seen it yet. It hasn't been revealed. Now, while Coco gets to deliver this great one-liner, she does get hit with a tranquilizer by Miss Mead, but fear not, we've got the Matrix albino twins to swoop in and take out Mead. Meanwhile, Cordelia intercepts Ariel and Baldwin, and they're conspiring to use a chemical warfare type of agent, a powder, an aerosol, to take out all the female witches. It's directly aimed at females. And so they all think that they're really smart and that no one's ever thought of this before, and then boom, Cordelia rolls in with her entourage and is like, hey, you're not the first one to think this up. This is straight up plagiarism. But while you're at it, we're going to go ahead and shut this down. So Ariel goes off talking smack, like, hey, your powers are waning, and bam, Cordelia does it again. She just shuts him up literally. Can't talk, mouth sealed. And she dares him, go ahead and say it again. Yes, I'm loving Cordelia this season. Finally, Ariel, who I feel is the traitor in this episode, is called out. Baldwin and Miss Mead have to face their crimes by fire. Miss Mead seems to show no fear and doesn't scream or show any pain while burning. I think this disturbed Cordelia for a moment, but she kept her game face on. Boy, Michael's gonna be pissed. So it's gonna be real interesting to see how that plays out. The clip for episode 8 shows Michael showing up to some weird dark school, I'm assuming, for people that worship him. So I guess we'll see what comes of that. And then 2 nerdy cats in a lab. I thought it was interesting that the lab had a lot of robotic material in there, so I'm predicting that these 2 nerds, they're going to be the ones that construct Miss Mead, the android that we see in the future. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please leave your comments below and hook up a like if you like this clip. I hope to see you all next week and have a great week.